Welcome everybody to another shocking episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. What am I looking at when I say that? I don't know. A shooting star maybe? Speaking of stars, we're going to be speaking about a hit character from the hit TV show 60 Days In on A&E. That's right, a former sheriff, Mr. Jamie Knoll. We've been following the story of this individual since it first broke. I'm not here to break down all the stuff that he's done, but for the most part, he did a lot of lying and a lot of stealing, even from his own dead brother. Unreal, man. His nephews, nieces, even his own daughter wants to see him pay for his crimes. So much has went on with this case, it's unreal. This guy really messed up a lot of stuff. But like I said, if you want to do your own research on everything, go right ahead. Today we are just here for this sentencing. So let's get right into it. If you enjoy this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, here we go, but first, look at the symmetrical greens in here. Yeah, it's already starting off with the bang, not to mention that maple birch in the back.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ms. Knoll, would you state your full name for the record and spell it, please?
Hope Knoll, Hopenoel.
And Ms. Knoll, are you related to the defendant, Jamie Knoll?
Not anymore.
Have you prepared a statement that you wish the court to consider prior to decision on his sentencing here today?
I mean, if her last name's still Knoll, I do believe they're still related. At least by paper, right? Anyways, this is his brother that passed away's former wife. And I remember covering this when it first came out. His brother's house, I believe, somehow got into the hands of his brother, and the people that it was left to didn't get what they were supposed to get. If I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that.
Could explain that you said not anymore. Can you explain that, please?
I'm the ex-wife of Leon Knoll, and I have his son, Jack Knoll. We have a son together, and then I also have Taylor Knoll, who is Leon's son, or Leon's daughter, sorry, not mine, but she also lives with me. And then they have there's another son, Dorian, as well.
These are nieces and nephews
of Jamie's. Can I speak directly to him?
I'll let you ask the judge that, Ms. Knoll. Feel free.
Ooh.
I want to aim this directly at you. Okay?
Ooh. Judge said, feel free. He's ready for the juice. I would have too. I would have been reaching for the white lightning fast as lightning.
Can I speak directly to him?
I'll let you ask the judge that, Ms. Knoll. Feel free.
Feel free, be my guest.
I want to aim this directly at you. Okay? I'm speaking on behalf of Leon's kids. I'm his ex-wife, mother of his youngest son, Jack. We trusted you to handle Leon's estate and give the kids what was rightfully theirs when he passed away.
Yup.
Leon trusted you to do what was right for his children since he was not going to make it. He literally had to make a will in the hospital. Do you remember him passing away? I'm sure you do, since you were there in the hospital with all of us when he did. I don't see how you can say in your Facebook post that your brother Leon is missed and loved after what you've done to him and his children. I believe in you, and I have a very different definition of the word love. I'm not sure why you felt the need to steal from the estate since you were already stealing from everyone else. And you claim to be a Christian man. Did you know greed was one of the 7 deadly sins? Apparently you didn't pay much attention in church.
When that man was doing these things, I don't know if he's changed his life now or not, but he had no integrity or honor whatsoever.
When you gave the checks to the kids from the estate, the amounts were lower than I would have expected, but I did not question it because I was not married to Leon anymore and I did not know his financial status. So I never questioned it. Why would I? His brother, the sheriff, was handling it since you were the executor. Looking back now, I wish I had gotten a lawyer for the kids when he passed.
Yeah.
I remember having numerous phone calls with you, trusting you, even sent you a thank you gift of cigars that I contacted John Miller to see what your favorite cigars were. I was grateful that you handled the estate process and wanted to thank you for doing so. I had them sent to your house and you never even acknowledged it or said thank you. Now I know why. Then a little over 5 years later, we find out that you have stolen from the same estate that I thanked you for handling. From your nephews Dorian, Jack, from your niece Taylor, your brother's children who lost their father. Like that wasn't bad enough. Now here we are dealing with courts, lawyers, media, etc., all because you chose to be greedy and steal from them. The sheriff is supposed to be someone you can trust. Your uncle is supposed to be someone you can trust. Not only did you steal from them financially, but you also stole their trust. I would personally like to see you get a psych evaluation because I do believe you are a sociopath. There are no words to describe the amount of disgust I have for you. I hope the time you serve in prison alone really gets to you, and I hope Leon haunts you every single day. I absolutely wish the worst for you. Your oldest child, Danielle, she wanted me to tell you, and I quote, "Tell him his firstborn daughter is thankful for being ignored." I personally have always thought very low of you for the way you treated her differently than you did your other kids. Leon had more to do with her than you did, and he was just her uncle. At least he didn't steal from her like you did your nieces and nephews. He was the better brother, the better uncle, and a better father than you'll ever be. Your niece Taylor has written you a letter. I'll read it for you.
No.
From Taylor. I am extremely disgusted by your actions towards not only the family but to this county. What you did is unacceptable and will pay the consequences. There is no getting out of this. Because of you, the family now has trust issues. The family never sees each other. The family now has trauma. You really hurt us in a way no family member should ever have to go through. And you hurt this county because now we don't trust our elected officials either because of the corruption you've caused. And I hope one day, and if you're ever released, and you can finally be a decent human being because what you have done is pure evil, and I expect apologies to everyone. And she wants to really hope this thing sinks in for you at this part. That Grandma, your mom, Grandpa, your dad, and Leon would be very disappointed in you. Karma is coming for you, and I hope you realize how bad this upsets me. Have fun in prison because you deserve it. Yeah, that's what I want to see right there, is you crying.
Jamie! Don't do it! Those look like crocodilians. I don't see a drop or shine of water anywhere. Mister, no, you're lying even with your tears. Man, but look, the niece, the daughter, I mean, they all want him to get smoked. Let's cool the smoke jets for a second. Let him breathe. Sure, he has something he wants to say as well once he squeezes out one of those lemon tears.
Finally, some reaction. You've put us through hell.
Don't cry, Jamie. She probably can't believe he's crying. All right, here we go. Let's see what Mr. Jamie Knoll has to say after all that.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity.
It's so weird seeing him like this after watching 60 Days In, man.
As a Christian,
Oh no, here we go.
Mr. Knoll, if you would help, you may have a seat and read it.
I'm good. I want to make sure they can hear me, Your Honor. They deserve it.
There you go. Stay standing. That's respectful.
It's always important to acknowledge your sins, which I do, to repent, which I have and I will, and to ask for forgiveness. And I apologize. I'm sorry I wasn't able to apologize to any of the witnesses that spoke earlier. There's some reasoning that I'm not going to say because I don't want to dare make it look like I'm trying to deflect blame because it's mine. The reasons of how this was allowed to happen, it's not who I am. It's definitely a big mistake that I made. But first, victims that you haven't heard from is my family. And I apologize. forgive me, not being honest with them about where the money was spent or it came from. My dishonesty with them has caused them all great emotional pain and suffering.
Dude, those are fake crying. That's fake crying for sure.
And my daughter Casey could lose her freedom because of me.
Oh no, Casey could go to jail?
all my fault.
She's still going to trial?
And my family had no knowledge of the business that I was running, or how I was running it, or whether or not I had the right to tell them how they could spend their money or use their credit cards. I controlled everything when it came to our family's finances. I can think maybe over 28 years of being married that my wife may have asked for 10 checks school related that she would have ever signed in her finances. I took out the garbage. That was my wheelhouse. My family trusted me to do that, and obviously didn't do it. I prepared everyone's tax returns on TurboTax without their input. Matter of fact, when my daughter Casey, after she bonded out, she said, "Dad, could you please do my taxes? I need the money because I paid bond." And I said, "Casey, I can't do it." She'd just been charged for something that was my fault that I did on her taxes. They were victims of my deceit just like anybody else.
They gave them pink cuffs? How disrespectful! That's what they give to the women. No disrespect to the women. Of course, there's very strong pink handcuffed women out there. But they're not meant for men. They're supposed to get those plain old junky silvers with a little rust on them. How dare they give them those pampered pink cuffs? Me and Brittany went to jail together from the courtroom one time. She had pink janks as well. Had to holler at her through the vent when we went to the holding tank. I see those pink cuffs. Yeah, I know, bro. It's hard to see in here with all this fumigating.
Second, I asked my wife 28 years to forgive me. I understand why she wants to end our marriage. I don't blame her. I violated her trust more than once, and I lied to her. I know this has caused her embarrassment and a lot of heartache and hatred being funneled towards her. I was not honest with her about the money, the credit cards, or her taxes, which I did. I'm sorry that I caused her so much pain and embarrassment, and I'm sorry. I want to apologize to the citizens of Clark County that trusted me, that voted for me, and let me be their sheriff, including everybody and some of which you heard from that helped campaign for me. I let sin overtake me, and I violated their trust. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to the men and women of law enforcement, fire, and EMS. I spent a lifetime as a law enforcement officer, volunteer fireman, and an EMT. And I know how difficult it is to do the job. My activities have tarnished the reputation of public safety community, and it's not fair to them. None deserve the public to look at them and worry about their integrity.
That's right.
My actions should not tarnish them. It's my fault. I want to apologize to my friends and colleagues that have been brought into this case because of me. I'm sorry to each and every one of you. I never asked anyone to do anything wrong. I never expected you to do anything wrong, but because of me, you have suffered. I'm sorry for this, and I apologize.
Alright, well, he said his piece, and I'm not gonna lie, it just seemed very scripted. Yeah, it looks like he's crying a lot, but like I said, I ain't seen not one tear yet. Right? If you're really crying about something, aren't tears supposed to come out? Let's see what kind of smoke the judge has in store. I think they might have some kind of plea deal in order. Don't know if the judge is gonna go with it or not, though.
Over a year ago, I got a call from General Counsel for the Indiana Supreme Court, wondering if I would accept the assignment of the investigation into the potential misdeeds of Jamie Hunt. I wasn't given any explanation as to the allegations that were being levied against him. Yet I accepted the assignment as my duty to the citizens of the state of Indiana. I somehow got in touch with Officer Heron and asked him, what is this case about? I didn't know anything about it. He gave me a short explanation that there were some suggestions that there was perhaps some forgeries for an officer to get a pension he didn't earn, and some misappropriations of money. So I had a bit of an explanation, and then he set about his task of investigating.
He's a sheriff of 60 Days In. All right, I'll do it. Sign me the fuck up. I've been wanting to smoke that guy since I seen the first episode. That's what I would have said if I was a judge, you know, behind the scenes. I wouldn't have told nobody, of course.
And Officer Crew, I agree with you. Officers Heron and Hanson have been exemplary detectives. One afternoon, I received a text from Officer Heron that said, "Are you available for a search warrant affidavit and probable cause?" And I said, yes. I said, you know, can you tell me a little bit what it's about? He said, I believe I found all the missing shipping containers that were obtained by Clark County Sheriff's Department, but that are now missing. And there was a short delay, and it said, and a train. I immediately had to call him because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I said, did you really say a train? He said, yeah, a train. That's the way this case has proceeded. One outlandish discovery after another. I was here last Friday listening to arguments concerning John Miller and the change of venue because of public outrage that the citizens of Clark County have been directly deceived, defrauded, betrayed, ignored, all the while waiting for help that came too late. Mr. Knoll, you tarnished the badge you were given by the citizens who you tricked into voting for you and trusting you. You have failed everyone who has ever worn a uniform, whether it be law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs, or the like. You profess to promote democratic freedom, yet you behaved as a political fascist, thwarting and bullying those who would not submit to your will. How do you restore public trust in their government and their need for equal justice under the law, not just for Jamie Knoll's friends, but for fair treatment for all of those who seek to uphold our office with integrity? Restoring trust means allowing justice to prevail.
And that's absolutely correct. The number one step to all this is what we're doing right now. About to watch this guy get smoked. That's how we get our trust back, man. Seeing people be held accountable. Sad to say, though, I strongly believe this is just a little tiny drop in a big, big bucket.
I respect and adopt Superintendent Carter's words when he indicated, as a public servant, you give to those in need, not take from them when their backs are turned. And that one person can destroy what 1,000 have built. You should have adhered to his advice many years ago. We have heard today that real lives were lost in exchange for your greed. Employees lacked equipment and staff to effectively perform their duties, and therefore the citizens of Clark County, perhaps Floyd County, lost their loved ones. The town of Charleston had to find means to ensure funding for a resource officer for their schools to protect their children, again, because of your greed. To your extravagant greed even went so far as to steal from your nieces and nephews,
Sick.
your deceased brother's children. What could be more reprehensible than that?
Nothing.
Your actions have revealed that your lust for power and pleasure are worth far more than the lives of those entrusted to you for your care, but today the court says otherwise. I asked Office of Court Services to do an analysis. Fellow up there I respect, is probably a lot smarter than me, as to what the
PSI?
minimum maximum I might be able to give to you would be.
Ooh, mid or
And
max?
we've had discussions about that, and I've discussed it with others and done my own research. I could give you perhaps more time, but then I would be subject to an appeal, and the Court of Appeals might lower my sentence substantially, as I recently had done in Washington County. They thought I give them too much. You can't just take each count and add a year. There's issues concerning continuous criminal conduct and minimum and maximum and how they're tied together with all the other charges and time elements. So as I've analyzed this, I've come to the conclusion that it's a very substantial sentence, considering that these are level 5s and level 6 felonies.
Sounds like he's gonna go with the plea.
And I also listened today carefully. And not one of them indicated that they wanted you to spend more time in prison. They wanted you to remember your deceased brother for the rest of your life and what you did to his children. Some of them want you to suffer. And you can understand that, I would hope, considering how you betrayed everybody that you possibly knew, everybody that thought you were their friend. Matt Owen could barely look at you. He held you up as a father figure. Supported you when you were telling everybody it's a witch hunt. He still believed you. Yet you deceived everybody. Witch hunt. Way to deflect responsibility. With reluctance, I will accept the plea agreement.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The story of former Sheriff Jamie Knoll from 60 Days In is over. Unless something might happen to him in prison. But I'm here to tell you, look, you can Google stories of former officers getting killed in prison. You ain't gonna find hardly any. These dudes are protected, man. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he's gonna be going to a very special, nice, cozy block. That's just how it goes, at least from the research that I've done. But man, this was, like I said already, something out of a storybook. I mean, I know officials lie and steal all the time, but this one was a bit different. A lot more grimier, something that you just don't hear every day. When it ties into the family, he was with the fire department, tax-paying money. I mean, there was so much going on, it was unreal. But to do it to his own brother after he just passed away is just the bottom of the barrel. I mean, you got to be one sick puppy to do that. But I do agree with the judge. Taking the plea deal would probably be a better route. Like he said, he could have appealed with another good attorney. Who knows? Next time he could have gotten less. And I was saying the plea deal was for 12, but it says in the description that he was sentenced to 15 years. Keep thinking you're going to stay clean playing a dirty game. Until the next time, though, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I got plenty more content coming your way. As always, until the next time, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.